technology. These are the two things that I would like to differentiate when I answer this question. Now, let me talk about the first question. Building from the perspective of affordability, building from the perspective of mass deployment. From the very, I would say, teams of numbers, 140 crore nation among close to 700 crore people on the globe. If anyone makes a product for Indian or an India market, that means it's already capturing 20% of the market share. Why? Because one among every 5 human beings that exist on the world, one of them is Indian, right? Now, that's the, I would say, concentricity of the customer profile that we're talking about. Right? When it comes to, when somebody designs a product for that particular customer, the chances of that particular product being mass deployed or excelled are high. However, within this 20%, there is huge diversity. While we talk about unity, diversity, when it comes to the marketing and the product companies, this diversity becomes a very challenging thing because the breadth of this customer is quite huge. So, from an adoptability perspective, from a mass deployment perspective, if any product or any company is able to target the right consumer, right customer profile, and build that particular product in India, the chances of that particular success is very, very high. Now, having said that, for such kind of a deployment and for such kind of a scale, but when the democratization of the distributed business happened, every pan masala, every pawn shop guy, or every cigarette shop guy, or a medical shop, or a grocery shop used to have a distributed booth, a coin box right outside of it. And hence, the connectivity and communication is the problem is solved. Right? Number one. Now we at ThunderPlus, because I'm trying to apply how we are building whatever I've been saying, how we have been following. ThunderPlus also what we realized is if I were to make such bold statements that I want to eliminate the charge and anxiety from the Indian EV ecosystem, ThunderPlus alone or GOVP alone or the Adanis alone cannot solve it. It can only be solved when the technology and business models are democratized. So very similar to the SC book business, we launched something called Thunder. What it means that every house, every home, every wall can become a charging point. Very similar to the old SC book business, and with the digital currency now in place, people can charge. Right? So that's how we are looking at scaling. Now the second thing is the resources and then the raw materials which are meant for built for India. I think there are many nations where we can really get a lot of inspiration from. For example, Israel. Israel, if you look at as a nation, the resource that it has is very limited. But then what it has mastered is the technology, wherever the resource might be in the world, they have mastered the technology of building for that nation and building for that economy. I think India is somewhere we are still stuck under this thing. For example, even in the EV industry, we always complain that we do not have lithium cobalt mines in India. Right? But so was the case with many other countries too, but they have been excelling. So I think India also needs to focus more on those technology where we do not limit ourselves, we do not be, I would say, fooled by the myopia that we do not have resources or the cost of extracting those resources, right? But then we need to focus on building those technologies and those business models. Wherever the resources are, we add value and we convert it into products. So, two things, scalability perspective, one is mass deployment from a democratization of technology. Second thing is focusing on the right technology, not necessarily narrowing and worrying too much on the resource and resource scarcity. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right. I have many memories. First one to begin with is my first introduction to Pongal. Right? The breakfast called Pongal, the best and the mess. Right? I'm not sure how many you can agree. And then the second best breakfast which I used to enjoy Saturday early mornings is Rava dosa. Yes, Daveri hostel is famous for Rava. And Saturdays and Sundays, I think we have also chicken biryani. That is Saturday. So that is with respect to food. And also we have the Guru toys and shops and then the Maggie shop right opposite Narmada, right? So you pay 10 rupees to get amazing grandly with onions, tomato and tomato ketchup spring. That used to be my favorite. Definitely a lot of memories with SAC. I was also in Suryo coordinator. So we used to practice with SAC and we won the first IIT Madras Suryo competition in 2008. And I'm going to be a copy of that. So whether it is OAT or SAC or Guru Nanak or the stadium, in fact the library, right? Whenever it comes to quizzes, whether we Score well or not is a different thing. It's a psychological satisfaction that the previous evening of the quiz you spent at CLT, at the library, you feel that, okay, I'm now prepared for the quizzes, right? So I think there are many such kind of memories, and very, very glad to be here. I live in Hyderabad and I run a company called ThunderPlus. We are doing EV charging solutions. We talked more during the panel discussion. And I also happen to be here for Pongal, and what a joyful coincidence to meet the rest of the fellow ITLs. Thank you so much, and look forward to exchanging lot many ideas and thoughts and memories with all of you together. Thank you so much.
Thank you.